Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review are going to be a pliers set from Milwaukee, and I will admit I am late to the game on these. They've been out for quite some time. I think it was even January when I saw Last Best Tools video of when he said he thought that these were going to be the plier of the year for him. I don't think anything's knocked it off for him yet. I haven't seen that video if it did, but this is the 48-22, 65-42, the 13-inch long reach pliers set. Again, this one's the two-piece set. So you have the straight, and then you also got that 45-degree angle. And that's the reason why I finally picked these up, is because these are on sale right now at Home Depot for 60 bucks for this two-piece set. Normal price, you pay $40 per plier, and so you're basically saving $10 per plier when you buy these. That's why I ended up going ahead and getting them, and that's why I hadn't picked them up until now. I just didn't need them enough that I felt like $40 a piece for each one was going to be worth it for me. But I've already got some Irwins that I made a video for that are a little bit different style. They got that compound action long reach pliers, and then I also run the Knipex ones in my tool bag there. So I didn't necessarily have to have them, but they got some features on them that I feel like makes it worthwhile to look at. And again, maybe throughout this video you'll get to see if one of these pairs might be the right fit for you and what you do. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we get into the pliers themselves, let me hit you with the highlights of the packaging. Again, part number is 48-22-65-42. They are claiming best access, maximum grip force, and then they're also showing that it is a 7.5-inch reach that you can achieve with these versus their competitor is a 4.5-inch reach, which I'll show you. Those are two different pliers right there. That's kind of the Knipex versus the Milwaukee that we're going to look at. Also, you have a limited lifetime warranty, and then made in Vietnam as far as where it is made. A lot of people want to know the answer to that question, so that's what that is. But again, we're only going to be looking at 3 pliers in this video. I'm only going to look at the straight version because that's what I have in all these. The first one is the Knipex. It's the 2871 280s. These run you about $42, $43 a pair, so these are actually more expensive than the Milwaukee, even if you pay regular price for one pair, and it's really a different plier. This is that plier that they're talking about, only gets that 4.5-inch reach. I'll show you why that is in a little bit, but this one also has a jaw here as far as so you can use it like a plier up on this end, and then you've got some slots to be able to put some stuff in to pull wire, whatever it might be, and the teeth on this one go all the way down to there. The thing I like about these is the length as far as for a tool bag. These are shorter than the Milwaukee and the Irwins. These come in at 11 inches, and you can see they fit in my MCT bag, slide right in and out of there. It's not a big pain to get those in and out, so I really like those and keep those in my bag. The other pair that we're going to look at are the Irwins. I think I picked these up at Lowe's. I've got a video for these, and they run you $20 a piece. So they're half the price of the regular price of the Milwaukees if you paid full price. But right now at the sale, they're basically $10 cheaper per pair because you're paying $30 a piece for these. And these at least give you the same kind of option of doing some things that the Milwaukee do. It's got that double compound action, so you've got 2 pivot points. It allows you to go in somewhere a little bit deeper and open those up. These are the longest pair of the bunch. I think they came in at 13.25 inches, so they are over 13 inches long. So these are longer than the Milwaukee by just a smidge because these are actually 13-inch pliers. So they come out exactly at 13 inches whenever I measured those. And they will fit in my MCT, but you pretty much have to pick your spot exactly because you can see here they're too tall there. I basically have to get them all the way to the bottom of the bag, right in the middle. That would make it to where I could put them in there and shut them up. So in case you're just curious, will these fit in a tool bag? It's going to have to be a decent sized tool bag. It's not really meant to be. I normally keep these in my pack out drawers in my truck, so that way I just have them in case I need them. They're not a tool I use every day. They're a tool that I like to have on me, so that's where I keep those. That's their comparison for price, size, those kinds of things. What about function? How do they function differently? Is there one that's going to work better for you? Again, only you're going to know the answer to that. I'm just going to show you some of the things that they do, and I don't have any of that fancy clear plastic piping that I've seen at Pipeline or on other people's videos and those kinds of things. But basically, if you are going in somewhere that's kind of a tight spot, so you got this PVC coupling right here, the point of contention is always going to be the handle back here if you got to go very deep at all. So you can see if I take my Knipex, I go in, I end up hitting that handle. Once I start opening and closing, even though these pliers will open up really wide, they will only open up as wide as basically I'm allowing my handle to do so. So once I get somewhere and I'm deep down in there, I'm not going to be able to open these near as wide to open up and get to something if I'm going full depth. Now, if I'm only going this deep, I can still open them pretty decent and be able to get something, pull on it, whatever it is. But it's whenever you actually got to use the whole entire plier, that's where these start to become an issue. Versus if we look at the Irwin, I can go all the way in, and once I start opening up my plier until it hits the handles, you can see I'm getting a whole lot more out there than what I was with the Knipex. I mean, that's significantly more. And again, it's even more so the more I pull out. If I don't have to go as deep, I can get crazy wide. I can end up getting wider than what that coupling is actually by itself. And the Milwaukee are not a lot different than the Irwins. In fact, I'm going to say they're pretty much kind of the same in that way. Is I'm still, once I get back here to where I'm hitting on my handles, if I go in and out of there, I can open up these wider than what that actual coupling is and get them all the way up to the handle to go full depth, those kinds of things. But that's if you're going in somewhere and you're having to go full depth or not full depth. If you go into something like this, that's actually tight the whole entire way, I think it might show you a little bit better. If I go with the Knipex, put it into the handles, I try opening up those handles until I pull back to a little bit. That's as far as I can get that open right there. Again, I don't have a lot of room to open up those needles or the needle nose part right there and be able to do anything with that. And again, if I look at the Irwins, going in a little deeper, I can go the entire way. I'm opening up the whole entire width of that pipe. Not an issue with that. And then if I go with the Milwaukees, again, just like the Irwins, I can still open up the pipe the entire way. I think these are actually a little bit harder to open and close the entire way because the handles are spread a little bit more or something, but they still function in the same exact way. I'm not hitting down here until I've already got this as wide as I could possibly be anyway. So I'm going to say that the Irwins and the Milwaukees, even though they function differently or they look different, you know, the Milwaukees, basically the handles get skinnier as you open them to that point right there, and kind of the Irwins get wider right here and here, but they still stay slimmer than what your actual opening is as you open that up. So if I can get this in somewhere at this point, I'm still going to be able to get this in somewhere. It's not going to be a problem. It's just a way of, it just works differently, but it's still achieving that same result. But the difference between these two, as far as if you need to pick a pair, other than if you just like red better or blue better, if you want to go opposite of that, is that these Irwins do not have any of the features that the Knipex and the Milwaukee have. As far as I showed you on the Knipex, you've got a plier, you've also got some slots there that don't have any kind of, you know, teeth or anything in it. So if you want to pull something like a wire, a string, or whatever it might be, well, the Milwaukee, again, performs like the Irwin, but you also get the plier and those pull things, and you get teeth that are all the way down to that point. The Irwins also only have maybe an inch and a quarter worth of teeth, and then it becomes smooth after that. So you get into looking at something like that, especially if you're going to end up pulling wire or something like that. You know, you can take the Milwaukee, you can go in somewhere, get it lined up inside of one of those slots and kind of clamp down on it, pull that wire out. You're not going to end up probably tearing up that wire, versus if all you have are the teeth and you go in somewhere, you start pulling on a wire, and all you're doing is grabbing a hold of it, you yank on it, you might end up with something that looks like that. So again, this depends on what line of work you're in, you know, whether or not you pull wire, whether or not you pull string, whether or not you pull whatever, or if you ever want to use these pliers on the side of something that's back in somewhere deep and you want to stick a bolt head or something in that and be able to turn on it. You're not going to be able to do that with the Irwins. They can get you in a tight spot just as well as the Milwaukees, but they're missing a lot of these features right here, and that's why I ended up deciding I was going to pick these up. But yeah, guys, these are the long reach 13-inch pliers set from Milwaukee. Again, I bought the two-piece set, 48.22, 65.42, on sale right now at Home Depot for $60. Ultimately, that's why I bought them. I've been able to achieve a lot of the same things that I want to with these two pairs of pliers, but basically they are combined into one with these, and you're getting that on the 45 degree and also on the straight if you want it. They do sell them individually. They also have some of those like bullnose type pliers as well if you want to look into those. But let me know in the comments below. I'm sure several of you probably have picked these up over the course of this year. Let me know in the comments below how well you like them, if you feel like they're the best ones you've ever used, those kinds of things. If you've got other options, make sure and throw that in the comments below so that the people watching can go down there and check those out as well. But hope this video was interesting in some way. Hope it's helpful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.